There we go. It's official. Well, welcome in. My name's Steven. I'm one of the owners, me and my wife, in Tohono Mercado. And welcome to our virtual mezcal tasting. It's definitely been a little bit. So I'm super happy to have every single one of you here again and gathered together. We have people logging in from all over United States, which I always really love about this because, it's not always the easiest to find these small batch agave spirits. And I feel very lucky to be locally so close to this brand, Tr3s Tiempos. Of course, they're made in San Luis Atmitlan in Oaxaca, but the importing headquarters is here in the Bay Area, which I'm really thankful for because it's allowed me to build on my relationship with each of these two gentlemen here that we see on the call, Raul and Leo, and I'll let them do an official introduction for themselves, but they will be your hosts tonight from the people from behind the awesome brand Tr3s Tiempos, which we'll be trying here tonight 4 different expressions, including our private batch, which I'm super excited for you guys all to try. One thing before I give the floor to you guys, you guys may all know this, but I'll just say it very quickly. Especially on your first pour, definitely make sure to leave a little bit there so that you can come back and revisit it. Because what you're going to see is your palate's going to open up as you move across each of these flavors. And it would be sad to see that, the first one you tried, we're going to try if you guys want to pour the first one, which will be the agave bequiche. So we can all be tasting that together. I would hate for you to not pull in all the flavors of this beautiful expression because we're all opening this tasting up on a fresh palate. So with that being said, super excited to have you guys here tonight, and let's give an official welcome to the Tr3s Tiempos team. Welcome in, guys.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight, for taking your time and being here. My name is Leo Lopez. I'm the representative of Mezcal Tres Tiempos in Nolasco Spirits. We are a family-owned distribution company here in California. We're based in Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, and so far we have 2 brands of mezcal with the company. One of them it's Tres Tiempos, which we have here with us tonight, and the other one it's Venezin Mezcal.
Hi. Let me try. My English not too good, but let me try.
That's
My
good.
name is Raúl Garcia. I'm part of the family who makes the mezcal Tres Tiempos in Oaxaca. My brother Diego is who makes the special batch for Steven. He's trying to connect. I think in like.
Sorry, in Oaxaca it's raining right now. There is a storm, so that's why Diego it's getting so hard time to connect. So we're waiting for him to connect. So hopefully he can make it.
Um, let me tell you guys a little bit about our family and about our project.
Español y el otro si quieres.
Okay, voy a hablar en español. Max, creo que tú hablas español. ¿Alguien más habla español?
Sí, yo hablo español.
Okay,
un poco.
2, 3. Okay. Leo it's here to help me to translate.
I'm gonna do my best to translate. So let's start with our project Tres Tiempos, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about the family tradition. And if you guys have any questions while we're talking, please stop us and ask us any questions you have. All right?
Okay. Nuestro proyecto como familia empezó hace ya 6 años, pero haciendo mezcal yo tengo la suerte de ser la 5ª generación.
So our project Tres Tiempos started over 4 years ago, but his family in San Luis Amatlan, they're remaking mezcal for over 200 years. So basically, Raúl and his brother Diego are now the 5th generation in his family right now.
Todo empezó con nosotros. Yo soy el de la familia que emigró a este país para buscar una mejor vida, más oportunidad. Y estando aquí, yo no sabía que había mezcal. Yo siempre tenía en la casa porque me lo enviaban, pero yo nunca busqué mezcal en ningún lugar. hasta que una vez en San Francisco un amigo me invitó y me dijo si quería mezcal. Yo no sabía que había mezcal y lo probé, pero lo que me dieron no me gustó. Y preguntamos si había algo, yo pregunté si había algo que estuviera más fuerte y sí me lo trajeron. Y sí sabía más a mezcal, pero cuando pagamos la cuenta estaba muy caro.
So he is the first of his family that immigrate to California. Uh, so when he went to San Francisco once, uh, they went to a restaurant, Raúl and his friend, and yeah, no, like mezcal existed in California. Like as he's from a very small like village, and like he never like went to like big cities. Like especially here in the U.S. So basically, once he went to San Francisco and he discovered mezcal for first time in California, and he was very impressed about it. So him and his friend ordered a pot of mezcal, but then he didn't like it. He thought it was very watered down. He wasn't the what he used to drink. So he asked the server. I mean, his friend asked the server if they have a stronger mezcal, basically. What like basically he's used to drink. And the server said, yes, we do have another mezcal. And he brought the other mezcal, and he was a little more happy with it. But when they brought the check, he wasn't very happy with the prices. Yeah.
La, a mí, en esos años, mi abuelo ya estaba enfermo. Yo crecí con mi abuelo porque mi mamá tuvo que mirar a la Ciudad de México para poder ayudarme con los gastos. Entonces, yo crecí con mis abuelos. Ellos fueron como mis papás. Y en esos tiempos, cuando yo me pasó en San Francisco eso, hablaba con mi abuelo y él ya estaba enfermo. Y una de las últimas pláticas que tuve con él, él me comentó, dice, ya no vengas aquí, ya no regreses al pueblo, aquí solamente hay trabajo y maguey. Quédate donde estás, allá estás mejor.
So Raúl was raised by his grandfather. ¿Su nombre? ¿Cómo se llama?
Constantino.
Constantino. That's his grandfather. And once Raúl was in the U.S., he spoke to him before he died. By the way, before he died, they had a conversation, and his grandfather told him to stay in California, not to come back, because in San Luis Amatlan there is only maguey and hard work. There is no opportunities here for your kids, for your family. Stay there, he said.
Cuando él me dijo eso y después falleció, recordé lo de San Francisco y, y fue cuando yo pensé, ¿por qué tuve que quedarme aquí y no estar con mi abuelo? Si nosotros pudiéramos vender nuestro mezcal aquí en estos lugares, en estos restaurantes, lo que sabemos hacer, yo podría estar en mi pueblo y podría estar viviendo bien, viendo el precio del valor aquí, del mezcal aquí.
All right, so Raul realized, like how come I cannot be with my family in Oaxaca when we make mezcal, and like he realized about the prices here. I mean, I can have a better living in Oaxaca by selling my mezcal.
En- y de ahí empecé a buscar cómo hacer para tener una marca, para poder traerlo a este país. Fueron 4 años para tomar todos los permisos y finalmente en el 2021 lo pudimos traer.
So then, like he's starting like doing research how to bring his mezcal, his brand, like legal into the U.S. Starting like working with people about how to, like put everything together to bring his mezcal into the U.S.
Desafortunadamente, mi abuelo ya no pudo ver esto, ya no pudo ver que el mezcal de la familia por fin está vendiéndose a un precio que yo me imagino él nunca lo pensó, pero ahora nosotros como familia vemos una gran oportunidad y mi hermano, que espero se conecte, a uno de mis principales metas es que él ya no se venga, que ya no emigre, porque antes él siempre me decía, ayúdame, yo que me quiero ir para allá, préstame dinero, me quiero ir, pero hoy en día con lo que estamos haciendo, él ha cambiado de pensar y dice, yo aquí puedo estar, puedo vivir bien.
So, Raúl, ¿qué dice al principio? Se me fue la onda.
Ah,
¿Qué dice al principio? No.
que mi abuelo ya no pudo ver.
So, unfortunately, his grandfather could like passed away. He couldn't see like the the brand in the US. Like if he was alive, he wouldn't imagine how much the mezcal cost in the US. You know, like he couldn't imagine that. He won't imagine that. So by doing mezcal tres tiempos and sending it to the US, we can stop at least his brother to emigrate into the US. You know, like he's been talking to his brother, and now Diego doesn't want to come to California anymore. As before, he will ask him, "Hey, hazme el paro, bring me to California with you." But now Diego, with all these projects that we're doing, and he's seeing numbers, now he wants to stay and make mezcal for the brand.
Eso es como empezamos a tener nuestra marca como familia y es la parte de la historia de por qué lo hicimos.
So this is how like that was the main decision to make us create Tres Tiempos. And now we have Diego
Ah, Diego
connecting.
is connecting, I think so, right?
Okay, sigue hablando un poco más.
Wow, what
Any
a perfect
questions at the
segue.
moment?
That was a perfect segue.
Right? Any questions at the moment before we continue?
¿Qué significa el nombre?
Tres
Tres tiempos.
Tiempos. We're gonna talk about ¿por qué Tres Tiempos? Why Tres Tiempos?
Perfecto.
We'll answer your question.
Tres tiempos es porque nuestro pueblo, yo creo que no solamente pasa en mi pueblo, pasa en todos los pueblos que hacen mezcal. Cuando alguien nace, se celebra con mezcal. Cuando vas creciendo, cualquier cosa importante, confirmación, bautismo, boda, se celebra con mezcal. Y el día que alguien muere, pues no se celebra, pero se le rinde tributo, por así decirlo, con mezcal. En mi pueblo en especial hay una tradición, cuando alguien muere, le ponemos una botella de mezcal en su cajón. Tenemos la creencia que esa botella de mezcal lo va a acompañar en su camino, en su último camino hacia su destino final.
So basically, Tres Tiempos, the brand is connecting with our tradition. You know, we born, we grow, and we die with mezcal. You know, mezcal it's always present in baptisms as we are like childs. As we grow, there is weddings, we get married. It's part of our traditions, and we when we die, we don't celebrate, but we have like mezcal in our like hard times. You know, like when someone dies. You know, like we believe mezcal will be like will makes the person brave to follow like wherever we go. You know, like we go to heaven, we go wherever we go, we take our mezcal and will like always be part of us.
Son los tres etapas de la vida, three stages of our life, nacer, crecer y morir.
So those are the three stages of life. We born, we grew up, and we die, and that's one, and the other is the process.
Eso es tres tiempos en la tradición y tres tiempos también porque para nosotros como productores hemos llegado a la conclusión de que para que los consumidores tengan un mezcal auténtico, el productor debe ser la misma persona quien cultive sus agaves, esa misma persona debe ser la que produce el mezcal y esa misma persona o familia tiene que embotellar su mezcal, porque esa es la forma que uno como familia, sus agaves los va a cuidar de la mejor manera, va a ser un proceso bien hecho y se va a asegurar que lo que está en la botella es es lo que ellos quieren que la gente esté disfrutando. Porque al menos en mi pueblo, mi abuelo tenía una muy gran reputación haciendo mezcal. Y si yo pongo algo que no está bien, l- la gente de mi pueblo cuando lo tome eso van a decir, eso no es mezcal, eso no sirve. Entonces, como familia, si controlamos esas tres etapas, estamos asegurándonos de que lo que ponemos en la botella es algo auténtico de nosotros.
So for the mezcal process, he says there is three very important stages for the mezcalero. So first, you have to grow your own agaves. Second, you have to make your own mezcal, like process from the harvesting to the distillation. And the third one, it's the bottling process. If we bottle our own mezcal, because I mean, there is mezcaleros that they don't have a bottling system. They have to send their mezcales to other palenques or other distilleries to bottle their mezcal. But if you do that, you don't know what's gonna happen to your mezcal if you're not there. You know, like the only way we guarantee quality and what the family makes, it's by doing it all. All right. So those are the three stages that represent tres tiempos.
Beautiful.
And also, he mentioned that his grandfather had a really good reputation of making mezcal. So Hugh, Raúl, and his brother Diego will feel very like, ¿qué dijiste?
Que si nosotros ponemos algo que no está bien, el pueblo conocía a mi abuelo, entonces si ponemos algo que no es auténtico de nosotros, se va a perder eso que mi abuelo tenía en el pueblo, ese respeto que el pueblo le tenía.
So basically, he said that they will lose respect for the community, you know, like, because his grandfather had a great reputation, so they wanna like go in that direction with their mezcal process.
Bueno, ahí está
Beautiful.
Diego. Diego, salúdalos, diles algo.
So Diego is gonna say hi to all of us.
¿Cómo está, Diego?
Diego, si te quieres introducir, hablar un poquito de ti, de lo que haces en la familia y nada más hazlo un poquito corto porque para que ir traduciéndote.
Pues hola, buenas noches. Pues yo aquí soy que me dedico casi pues más a lo que es la producción acá en el pueblo, porque pues aquí como uno pues como ahora sí que como campesino, pues uno lo único que hace pues es pues trabajar el campo, el terreno, el maguey, dedicarse a lo que es a la producción y ya pues ya conectado gracias con mi hermano, que es el que se dedica con mi hermano con sus amigos, es el que se dedica a lo que es la venta, y yo aquí más que nada es la producción nada más, lo que aquí pues lo que como mi hermano dice, lo que mi abuelo nos enseñó a nosotros, lo que es de los cortes de maguey y todo eso, pues aquí es un mezcal auténtico, pues lo que nosotros
Ya
hacemos
está,
es lo mismo que mi abuelo nos enseñó, pues desde que pues desde que yo vengo creciendo, mi papá, mi mamá, mis
ya
tíos,
está ahí, espérame para que traduzcaste.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, his name is Diego. He is the, no es, ¿cómo lo se quieren decir ustedes? No maestro mezcaleros, productores. They don't wanna call themselves like maestro mezcaleros. They like to call, call themselves like producers of mezcal because, they have a thing in his community, you know, like the mezcaleros are the people that used to go and buy mezcal from the people that makes them, that produces the mezcal, and then go and to the market and sell it to other people. So that's why we have a thing that we don't want to call Diego a mezcalero, because, you know, like taking back like years ago, that's what a mezcalero used to be. Okay, so just so you know. So he's the producer of Tres Tiempos. So he does all the hard work. He works on the fields, like taking care of the agaves. He does he's the master distiller with along with his father, Santiago. And si quieres ir hablando un poquito más, Diego.
pues yo pues aquí con bueno, lo que yo he aprendido ya tiene pues un poco de tiempo de que estoy en esto del mezcal, ya voy a cumplir pues un buen rato con mi papá, desde
¿A los cuántos años
mi
empezaste a hacer
abuelo,
mezcal?
mande,
¿A los cuántos años empezaste a
pues
hacer mezcal?
Pues desde que yo empecé a hacer mezcal, pues tendremos unos 10 años, pero de que empecé a trabajar en esto del mezcal, pues fue cuando yo tenía como unos 6 años, 5 años, con mi
Okay, so
papá, pues él
basically
todo.
he's saying that he started like seeing all the process of the mezcal when he was 5 years old. But then when he turned 10, he started getting more involved into the process of mezcal, doing a little more labor, hard labor. And now, like, ¿cuándo fue tu primera producción, más o menos? ¿Cuántos años
Pero
tenías
yo,
cuando?
la primera posición que yo saqué solo tendría yo como unos 17, 18 años a lo mejor,
So he
de que
was
yo me acuerdo.
around 17, 18 years old when he produces his first batch of mezcal. Sigue hablando, Diego. ¿Quieras compartir algo más lo que haces ahí? Si
Pues
quieres
ahorita,
hablar un poquito acerca de los agaves.
bueno, ahorita lo que nosotros tenemos de acá ves aquí son lo que es pues es lo que nosotros lo que nosotros trabajamos más lo que es el cuiche, el tepestate, tobalá, son los ensambles, por ejemplo, como tenemos los ensambles de espadín, bicuiches, madre cuiches, porque pues aquí, bueno, lo que no tenemos más aquí en el terreno son los magueyes de campo, porque aquí nosotros no tenemos mucho como por así decirlo que son llanos, ¿no? No tenemos lo que es de mucho por así decirlo, muchos terrenos limpios, así decir que estamos metiendo la máquina como en otros lugares. Aquí, mano, lo que nos hemos ido, pues es lo que hemos ido al trabajo más, que son como tenemos más terrenos de montañas, de monte, lo que
Ok,
dedicamos son más
puedes parar ahí para yo explicarles eso a ellos. So basically, Diego is saying the agaves that he uses the most are the Madre Quiche, Piquish, the Pestates, Tobala, Espadín. And he also mentioned that they don't have a lot of cultivated agaves. Most of his agaves are like on like the hills, and like he has a few land of espadines, but nothing like other people that from other towns like have like a lot of clean space to grow their agaves.
Diego, ¿puede explicar un poquito más de Maguey Bequish? Porque
Yes.
tipo de mezcal estamos tomando ahorita.
Sí, pues pues nosotros el cuy lo tenemos aquí en nuestros terrenos, pues es lo que casi aquí nosotros tenemos más que es bueno, yo desde que vengo creciendo, mi abuelo, mi papá, pues yo en los terrenos lo tenemos, por así decirlo, como de cerca, lo tenemos en las orillas de los terrenos, porque por ejemplo, donde colindamos con demás personas, por ejemplo, donde termina nuestro terreno, ahí colindamos con demás personas, ahí está el cuiche como cerca, y lo mismo hay en el monte, nosotros aquí tenemos montes grandes, muchos terrenos grandes de maguey de cuiche, pues, y es lo que más hay acá.
So he's saying the mezcal miquish. Back then they they will like use the agave miquish as a fence to like mark like the end of his like land, like the property. And a lot of people still using the bicuches to like use them as a fence, like for the properties basically. And it's like the bicuish grows all over the place in his region. ¿Nos puedes hablar más o menos cuánto tarda de crecer y cosas así?
Pues en crecer no tengo una fecha exactamente, pero pues yo le pongo que más o menos entre de unos 7 a 10 años más o menos del cuiche.
So basically, he says that the quiz doesn't have like a exact like time to mature, but he believes it goes from 7 to 10 years to the agave get to his maturity.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Can we open it up to see what you guys think of the Bequish here before we move on to the second? If anyone kind of wants to venture out.
We'll start. We're loving this. I mean, it's beautiful. I think for us, I mean, the nose for me has that sort of classic like caramelized brown sugar, but we both, you know, independently picked up like dried fruit. I was getting like dried prune. I think James was getting sort of raisin. But the palate's really interesting. I mean, it's sort of I got more like dried apricot on it. Like I don't know, some things I don't usually associate with biquiche, but just seems like the correct sweetness and like a killer ABV. You know, I think I last night I tasted all four of these and just this ABV range of like 48 to 50 just feels like perfect, you know. So I don't know, just love how this one delivers.
Yeah, I'll second that. It's a great ABV for this one.
Beautiful. Thank you guys. Any other thoughts on this bequiche? Cool. I mean, I think
It's
for me.
amazing.
Oh yeah, go, Eric, please.
No, I was just gonna say it's amazing. I think it's really delicious, and it has certain, I don't know, there's a certain thing that some mezcals from the Miahuatlan area to me have that's I can't really put my finger on it except that it's sort of a magical, beautiful thing, and this has that. So that's good.
I'd also say I feel like sometimes bequiche for me can read a little like really predominantly green. This one feels a little softer, more rounded. Maybe it's that, you know, amazing Miahuatlan water. I don't know what it is, but I agree with Mike. There's like a sweetness that kind of tempers that.
Beautiful.
It also lingers around at the end. It's just like that sweetness just follows through.
I couldn't, you know, I was debating with you guys between starting with the bequiche or the exclusive, but I felt that there was some nice sweetness on the bequiche to start with, and so I'm really excited that you guys are really enjoying this. So that's really beautiful. I think it's really important to make mention is the type of still that Diego is using, the refrescadera, and then
Cadera style.
could you elaborate a little bit on that?
¿Puedes hablar un poquito del método de destilación, Diego?
Pues no sé de dónde quieres que se empiece, desde el principio o ya en el momento ya de destilar el agave.
Desde el principio para empezar un poquito para el proceso, hablar un poquito del proceso.
Pues aquí nosotros pues empezamos en los cortes de, pues por ejemplo, de cualquier agave que tengamos, ya sea pues tepestate, espadín, cuiche, madre cuiche, tobala. Pues el agave que vayamos a cortar, nosotros aquí empezamos en las lunas, cuando ya van a ser llenas. Empezamos con
Ok.
lo que es el corte de maguey.
¿Cuándo es la primera luna?
Pues nosotros aquí los primeros cortes, por lo empezamos en enero,
Okay.
en enero, la primera luna de enero.
Okay. So basically, he's saying, Diego is saying the first harvesting happens during the full moon of, dijiste enero, ¿verdad?
Ajá, enero.
Of the first month of January, which the mezcal is gonna be processing during February. Okay. Continúa, Diego.
Ajá, sí, en enero es el primer corte, empezando la primera luna de enero, ya sea en los días que empieza a ser llena. Y ya empezamos lo que es el corte de maguey, y ahí ya pues ya teniendo el maguey, ya reunido en el palenque, pues ya se empieza con lo que es la armada del horno. Ya en la armada del horno, pues ahí ya se busca la leña, la que se va a ocupar para, por ejemplo, si tenemos una cantidad, pues no sé, unas 5 toneladas, y ya entre yo y mi papá, y ya buscamos, más o menos nos damos cuenta cuánta leña vamos a ocupar para poder cocer esa cantidad de maguey.
So he's basically saying that once the agaves are already harvested, he starts looking for the type of wood or like whichever wood is available to start the cooking process. So first he has to know how much agave it's gonna cook, to see about like how much wood he's gonna need. ¿Usas un tipo de madera en específico o lo que haya?
Pues ahorita nosotros aquí lo que ocupamos son lo que es mezquite maduro o guamuche maduro, ya guamuche, pues ya guamuche viejo de sazón, ya guamuche pues macizo, bueno, por así decirlo. El guamuche y el mezquite es lo que más nosotros ocupamos aquí para hornear ahorita maguey.
So basically, he uses like mostly it's gonna be mesquite and guamuchi, he says, which is another type of tree that he uses. And I believe the guamuchi it's a big piece of wood. It's bigger than the mesquite. Okay,
Ujú.
sigue.
Sí, ya, y ya por ejemplo, ya tenemos seleccionado el mezquite que ya está maduro, que ya está empezando a secar, que ya es un mezquite ya adulto, pues ya se va, ya, bueno, ya se corta y ya, bueno, nosotros ya en ese tiempo ya tenemos la madera en el palenque. Ya tengo la madera ahí, ya se empieza a armar, ya después de armar, pues empieza lo que es lo que es la cocción del maguey. Ya después de la cocción, pues ya veremos lo que sigue, por ejemplo, por así decirlo, la destapada que nosotros le hacemos aquí, ya destapamos el horno de maguey y ya lo llevamos a la parte donde nosotros lo ponemos a enfriar, que lo dejamos enfriar de unos 5 o 6 días.
So, ¿cuánto tarda en cocerse más o menos?
Pues ya un horno grande, 5 a 10 tinas, pues más o menos tarda entre de unos. Pues un maguey cocido ya está a los 4 días. Un maguey cocido ya está a los 4 días. A los 4 días ya el maguey ya se coció. Pero pues un horno en ese tiempo, a esos días aún no se puede destapar, por así decirlo. Porque aún está caliente, aún no se puede empezar a bajar a tierra, a sacar el maguey, porque aún no, aún está muy caliente el maguey. Se deja,
Okay.
por así decirlo, unos 15 días, 20 días para poderlo sacar del horno.
Okay, so this is a very important. I didn't know this. So basically, he's saying that once he's ready to like start the fire for the cooking process, he selects the bigger piece of wood, like starting like putting them together, start the fire, and then start like throwing the rocks to start heat it up, like rock by rock. It's not like you're just gonna start throwing the rocks into the oven. So it's gonna be a slowly process to start heating up the rocks. And once the rocks are like heated up completely, start putting a little bit of the fiber of the agave, use fiber of the agave, right? And the cooking process usually takes 2 to 4 days, but la destapada to uncover the oven, they wait about 14 days, 2 weeks, like because the agave feels really hot, but they believe like it cooks better if you just like leave it there for 2 weeks instead of just like uncover and start pulling up the agaves and start your process.
And in the cooking process, we have a difference in another towns because another towns they cover the agave with lonas or petates, but we don't use that. We cover with the fibers from past distillations. So that's why it's very hard, and we take take all the fibers from the agaves. So it's very hot. That's why we weigh more than another places.
So he's basically saying that he uses a lot of fiber to cover all the agaves, like other regions they use this plastic to start like covering their agaves. They use a lot of fiber to cover all these agaves and start like
We use bagazo
he
from the
uses the
from
bagazo.
the all distillations.
Okay, perfecto. Si quieres continuar, Diego.
Ujú. Y ya pues después de lo que nosotros llamamos la destapada, ya lo metemos hasta en la galera donde empezamos lo que es el procedimiento ya de lo que es la rebanada, como nosotros le llamamos, y ya sacándolo del horno, lo dejamos en la galera, lo dejamos enfriando pues es que por ejemplo el tepestate no lo podemos dejar enfriando más de más de unos 15 días, porque ese maguey ya se empieza a echar a perder, se empieza a poner como un color rojizo y empieza a agarrar un
Okay,
olor a frutas.
okay, puedes dejar ahí. So he's basically saying once they uncover the oven, so they start like cutting the agave in small pieces with a machete, I believe. And but they have to be they have to be very careful with the tepestate, not to leave the tepestate over 14 days, because it starts like fermenting, I believe. It starts like getting this flavor like very fruity, like you can smell it.
Beautiful.
Continúa.
Ajá, sí. Ya, pues, por ejemplo, el tepezate no lo podemos dejar mucho tiempo porque ya que empieza a agarrar ese color rojizo, empieza a agarrar un sabor como bueno, un olor, el mismo maguey, con la fruta ya no ya no es un sabor como el tepezate que nosotros conocemos ya el mezcal. Ya ese sabor ya es muy diferente, ya tiene un sabor, como a mojo, lo decimos nosotros acá, un sabor como ya pasado. Por eso que nosotros aquí el agave, por ejemplo, ese tepestate no se puede dejar mucho tiempo. Por ejemplo, ese tepestate, por ejemplo, si destapa uno el horno hoy, se deja enfriar nada más un día y al tercer día ya se empieza a empezar el proceso que es la rebanada y la machucada.
So yeah, so he's saying that the agave tepestate also, well, like if you leave it like a longer time after the cooking process, it will start like smell like mold and it will go bad like immediately. ¿Nos puedes hablar un poquito del proceso de destilación?
Ajá, ya, pues ya entrando, por ejemplo, ya después de lo que es la machucada, pues ya se depositan las tinas y ya de ahí empieza lo que es el proceso de la fermentación. Ya de ahí seguimos la destilación, ya empezando la destilación. Pues nosotros, por ejemplo, el agave, pues nosotros siempre hacemos una destilación, la primera destilación, cuando el agave nos rinde bien, nada más nos aventamos una destilación, ya cuando pues el agave, no quiere rendir bien, por así decirlo, que no sé, que alguno de nosotros le haya fallado en lo que es en la echada del agua o en la fermentada, pues ahí se le dan las dos destiladas, si no nada más una.
So Diego is saying that when he does the distillation correctly, and when everything is done, when the process is good, basically like they obtain the right amount of mezcal that they were expecting, then they don't have to do the double distillation. Because if they obtain very small amount of mezcal, unfortunately they have to do a double distillation in order to obtain more mezcal, more alcohol. So a bigger batch, basically.
So cool.
Any questions at the moment?
Perfect.
Anyone?
Let's talk about the tobala batch.
Perfect.
Diego, ¿puedes explicar un poquito de maguey tobala? ¿Tienen mucho de ese tipo de maguey en tu campo? ¿Y qué diferencia este maguey de tepestate o becuish cuando está haciendo un mezcal de este tipo de maguey?
Pues nosotros aquí en el campo, pues sí tenemos un poco de variedad también de lo que es el tobalá. Nosotros tenemos más lo que es el tepestate, cuiche. El tobalá sí tenemos, pero es un poco menos. No es como si fuera un cuiche. Aquí nosotros cuiche tenemos un poquito más lo que es el tepestate. Y a un tobalá sí lo tenemos, pero es más, sí tenemos, pero poco, pues. Y ya es razón, pues si nosotros tuviéramos más tobalá, el tobalá, pues es un maguey que se deja un poquito trabajar un poquito más que el tepestate.
¿En qué manera lo dejas trabajar más que el tepestate?
Pues entonces se deja trabajar más dulce, tiene un poquito de más dulce para poderlo trabajar bien en la fermentación.
Okay, okay. So basically, Diego saying that they don't have a lot of tabala. They have more cuishes, tepestate, and not a lot of tobala. But when it comes to work with the tobala, they they have a better perspective to get more, obtain more mezcal during the process, because the tobala has a lot more sugar content than the tepestate does. And then the biquish also, like you get a very small um, amount of mezcal from one plant of biquish or tepestate compared to the tobala. Diego, háblanos un poquito más acerca del batch que le hicimos para Steven y Tajona Mercado.
Que es el de Tobalá, ¿verdad?
Sí, sí. Explícanos un poquito del proceso, cómo,
¿Cuántos magueyes, los litros?
Pues nosotros de ese maguey pues sacamos, fueron 680 kilos y más, y fueron 37 magueyes. Pues ese proceso, por ejemplo, ese maguey ya sacándolo, maduro, ese maguey, nos dejó trabajar un poquito bien el proceso, y ese proceso pues lo tuvimos nosotros entre el mes de septiembre, como lo trabajamos por ejemplo, aquí nosotros tenemos pues desde que mis abuelos, mi papá, todo, pues nosotros aquí decíamos que íbamos a sacar una producción para el Día de Muertos.
So he says that he collect about 680 and 80 kilos of the tobala, about 37 agaves, to make the private batch, and he harvests the tobalas during the month of August, which starts at the end of August and ends on the beginning of September. So the plant was done at the end of August, and they process the mezcal during the 3 weeks of September. Have it ready for Dia de los Muertos.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the tobala?
Very
And,
pretty.
and Diego also mentioned that they've been doing this for like a long time, since his grandfather, he will always like make a batch or two for to have mezcal to share with the community for the Dia de los Muertos. Like it's part of the tradition to always have um, mezcal available for the type of celebration.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share what they think about the batch?
I was just gonna say it's delicious. It almost feels like the flavor overpowers the smokiness, and it's just all the way through really good.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alfonso.
Yeah, I'll just add that I feel like this one has a really sort of clean caramelized agave flavor on it. It's just really lovely, and it feels very I don't know, very pure, I guess.
Yeah, I dug this one a lot too. I got a lot of different things going on with this. I got sort of citrus tartness, I got a little sweetness, and I got even something like a little bit of a lactic vibe. So for me, this it had sort of a tropicality to it, and I was like, in a very subtle way, I was thinking about pineapple custard, and I don't usually associate that with tobala. So this sort of felt like its own thing, and again, like the ABV is just like so perfect. So I think it has like great body, like great strength to it, and sort of delivers those flavors with a good punch, but not overly hot at all. Like really, really well balanced.
Yeah, I don't usually jive with tobala all that much. I know it's very promiscuous, so I know it can kind of take a lot of forms regionally, but this is really, really delicious.
You guys. Yeah,
I would second. Oh, sorry. I
No,
was
no,
going to
Eric,
second that.
please.
I am not a Tobala guy generally. This stuff makes me want to be. I'll just go ahead and say I think it's the best Tobala that I've ever had. So.
Oh, thank you. And also, I just wanted to mention this. Like we believe, like it's a really cool part of mezcal that makes you remember things that like you like eat like growing up, you know, like it takes you like back to times where you like used to eat this, and it'll make you remember about like something you have in the past, you know, like things that you tasted before. Like, you know, like we all grew up different uh things, you know, like we all have developed different like palates, so you're never wrong when it comes to like tasting flavors. Like
Beautiful. Yeah, guys, this is great. I loving the comments. I think so last year we had a really beautiful ensemble from Tr3s Tiempos that everyone was really crazy about. And there was another opportunity again this year to bring another ensemble. And as we're talking about, we should pour the ensemble and then finish with the tapastate. So if you guys want to pour the ensemble next. And I would taste it through the lineup with Leo and Raul, and I tasted the ensemble, I tasted tobala. There was a verde as well, and another opportunity. And me and my colleague Marcilio and Sergio, we kept going back to the tobala, the single varietal. And what we really loved about this one, which you guys spoke about, was this complexity to it. That for me, anytime now, when I try a single varietal mezcal, I want that complexity, that layeredness that I get in ensembles. And if I don't get that, then it feels very singular. And I don't think it's really that complex of an expression. This Tobala did it. You guys are picking up the creaminess on there. I wanted to pick this up because I truly believed it could be top 3 best Tobalas in the market. And I really hope that you guys enjoy that one. And there's still more of it to come. So before we move to the ensemble, any other lasting points? Everyone starts their journey in mezcal, and one of the first agaves they get introduced to is tobala, right? And you fall in love with mezcal. A lot of people have told me this story, and then you start diving in deeper, and you find all these other agaves and stuff, and then you kind of forget about this little tiny tobala that kind of just mighty, doing its thing, living on little rocky soils. And I'm happy to give that reverence to Tobala back, and I'm happy that you guys are giving that reverence to Tobala back, because it deserves it. And so cheers, guys, to the mighty Tobala. And let's go into the ensemble next. Diego, ¿puedes explicar poquito de ensambles, de historia de ensambles en tu pueblo?
Pues nosotros acá los ensambles, pues antes acá, nosotros lo que más producíamos eran, ensambles. Pues aquí antes, por ejemplo, aquí antes cuando el mezcal era pues aquí, por así decirlo, no era un trabajo rentable, por así decirlo, como ahorita, pues ahorita, pues gracias a Dios ha salido bien esto. Y pues gracias a Dios hemos empezado a seleccionar lo que han sido los magueyes, por así decirlo, el tepestate, tobalá, cuiche, el espadín aparte. Antes acá, pues la gente nunca vio eso de seleccionar los magueyes. Antes era puro ensamble.
Hi, Diego, déjame explicar un poquito esto. So basically, Diego is saying that in his town, San Luis Amatlan, there was no such a thing like Tepestate as a single varietal or Madricuish as a single varietal, like before the boom of mezcal or before like people will bring like they will start bringing mezcal into the to the US. They were only like ensembles, like like that's part of what the tradition is, and like he didn't like he didn't like use just one single varietal to make mezcal until like we came up with Tres Tiempos Mezcal. It's when we start like categorizing uh the agaves like to do single varietals like Tepestate and Bicuish. Continúa, Diego.
Pero nosotros acá antes, pues yo de cuando yo empecé a trabajar para acá el mezcal, antes yo con mi papá, pues mi papá, él nunca seleccionaba los magueyes, por decirlo. Nosotros aquí hacemos ensambles, pues aquí todo se revolvía. De ahí empezó esto del mezcal, pues a tener un poquito de más, por decirlo, precio acá. Y empezamos a trabajarlo, seleccionándolo, a empezar por ejemplo, así decirlo, vamos a ver que hoy vamos a hacer, en este corte vamos a hacer un ensamble de tepestate con, no sé, con espadillo, con cuiche. Y pues empezaba por ejemplo, así es, como decíamos aquí, empezaba la gente a venir a comprarlo. Y dice, no, pues es que, ¿sabes qué? Y empezaron eso de los aromas, todo, ¿sabes qué? No, pues este aroma está, pues está bien, ¿de qué maguey es o qué agave tiene? Y ya pues uno pues ya le dice, no, pues tiene este y este agave.
Okay, déjame hablar un poquito. So basically, he's saying that before him and his father, they will like go and hunt any agave, like whichever agave was ready to harvest, they will bring it down to the palenque and they will like start making mezcal. And like they never pay attention of which agave they like cook, like until like people start like asking or like let's make a tepestate by itself, a quiche by itself, and then let's mix tepestate with espadín and quiche and see how does it taste, or like let's do a tobala with this agave. It might go well with this agave. Like they were like asking like to make these type of batches, because of the high demand of mezcal, basically. Okay, continúa, Diego.
Ajá. Pues así fue como nosotros empezamos empezar a sacar lo que se fueron los ensambles, por así decirlo. Así nosotros, pues, por ejemplo, dependiendo, pues, pues antes que nosotros teníamos muchos agaves así revueltos, decirlo, pero nosotros sabíamos de qué agave habíamos hecho ese mezcal. Y ya, por ejemplo, así cuando venían a preguntar, ¿sabes qué? Pues, ¿de qué es este? Porque nos gustó así. Y ya nosotros decíamos, no, pues es de tal y tal, y pues ya decían, es un ensamble. Y pues de ahí fue cuando nosotros empezamos a ver los ensambles, a ver los aromas, sabores, y de ahí fue cuando nosotros empezamos a decir, no, pues hay que hacer ensambles de esto, de esto, de esto y de esto, como a la gente le vaya gustando, pues.
Okay. So then people will used to come to their palenque and they will ask like, "Oh, what mezcal it's in this batch," and then he started like uh, putting more attention in which agaves he used for that mezcal. So like try to like do it again because people really liked it.
Yes.
Okay. Continúa, Diego.
Ajá, pues nosotros así, pues así fue como nosotros empezamos a sacar los ensambles y de ahí para acá, pues hemos ido seleccionando los ensambles. Por ejemplo, hemos hecho ensambles en pocas cantidades para así pues ver lo que a la gente a las personas les agrade, les guste y de ahí ya pues más o menos tomar nota de qué es lo que se ocupó y ya si a la persona le agrada, pues ya empezar a producirlo en un poquito más, pero dependiendo cómo es a la persona que le guste el aroma y el sabor que tenga.
So he's basically saying that he started like putting together agaves that they go well together and like do small batches. And then if people like them, really like them, then he'll like recreate the batch in the future with a bigger batch.
Can we recreate the batch from last year?
Right? Diego dice que pues, si puedes recrear un batch que se hizo la primera vez para ¿cómo se llama? Cajona.
Este, Pues yo creo que sí se podría, ¿no? Empezando, pues ver de qué agaves fueron y si tenemos los agaves maduros para ahorita poderlo producir, pues se podría producir. Pero si ahorita no, como no, bueno, nosotros ahorita que tenemos, lo que nosotros trabajamos son puros agaves maduros y como no tenemos, por así decirlo, pues nos da una producción de agaves, pues no sé, enorme, por así decirlo, como en otras empresas,
Ah,
pues se podría, pero si tenemos los agaves ahorita para hacerlos maduros, lo haríamos.
Okay.
so basically,
Dependiendo
he's
qué.
saying that it's not up to him, basically, like if nature allows it, if they have the agaves mature enough to harvest, like the same agaves that he uses to make your batch, the first batch, he'll do it. Like he'll be happy to do it, but it's not up to him. It's basically up to nature. Like, well, he can get something similar.
Sounds great. Well, with that being said, I think it's a perfect time to ask, what are you guys thinking of this ensemble? I think that they're always really great snapshots into the time of year when he made this batch. So what do you guys think of that time of year?
Just really quick, Stephen, that was the six agave ensemble, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one for me, I remember being really like compared to the other expressions. I left this one at home, unfortunately, so I don't have it. But I remember it being really bright compared to the other ones. Is that am I getting that right?
Yeah, I think for us there's a ton going on with this. Like I was getting sort of like baked potato skins, something sort of bright, and James picked up something sort of briny, maybe something a little vegetal, but also
You muted accidentally, guys.
this one also has like a really like a dry finish that's very sort of thirst quenching. It's sort of a little bit more tannic, you know, like a tea. So it's got a ton going on.
I feel like there's maybe something almost a little savory on the nose on this one.
¿Y tú, Diego, qué piensas del ensamble que hacen para la familia? ¿Qué piensas? ¿Qué sabores, qué notas agarras en este mezcal?
Pues yo, ahora sí que en lo personal, pues, pues nosotros acá, pues como pues nosotros diario estamos con lo de, por ejemplo, ahorita tenemos producciones pues de los agaves. Acá, pues nosotros, pues lo que aquí nosotros lo que más tomamos han sido lo que son, pues espadines, tepestates, los ensambles. Pero pues yo por así decirlo, a mis
Opinión.
gustos, pues, pues yo lo que más he tomado no es lo que ha sido pues los espadines.
Okay. So he's basically saying that he's always like tasting whatever they're producing, you know, like basically he's always tasting to adjust, you know, like to bring the mezcal to whichever percentage of alcohol they want it. But he says that he enjoys drinking um, espadín the most. Ujú.
Sí, porque
Pero
bueno, por ejemplo, yo acá con mis tíos, por así decirlo, con los que, pues, aquí casi, bueno, aquí, por así decirlo, aquí como nosotros en nuestro pueblo, en nuestro barrio, por así decirlo, aquí nosotros trabajamos con puro de nuestros tíos, y aquí, pues,
ujú,
nosotros, pues, no tenemos por ejemplo, así decirlo, que vamos a hacer un ensamble no sé si, por ejemplo, por así decirlo, de tepestate con tobalá, pues son unos agaves que no tenemos mucho, güey, y no podemos decir, ¿sabes qué? Pues mañana, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a llevarnos, bueno, no te digo cuánto vamos a trabajar, nos llevamos de 3 a 4 litros de mezcal al campo, pues, y no podemos decir, ¿sabes qué? No, pues hoy tengo un ensamble de tepestate con tobalá, ¿sabes qué? Me voy a llevarme 4 litros al campo, pero pues dices tú, son 4 litros, y ahora para llevarlos y para sacar esos 4 litros de agaves en el cerro de tepestate y tobalá, pues no es tan viable, por así decirlo acá.
so he's basically saying that, you know, like when it comes to drinking tepestate or in tobala, like a blend or by itself, he doesn't uses a lot of that mezcal to share with the people that like help to make the all the hard work. Basically, you know, like the people that help him to harvest and do the distillation process, because you know, like because they don't get a lot of mezcal from the production, so they usually take about a few liters of the espadin, like like not every day, but you know, like on his basic when they want to drink, so that's why he drinks most of the time espadin.
Beautiful. I'm gonna share my screen for a sec as you guys are all
Okay.
pouring the tepestate. Leo and Raul were kind enough to send some photos, so I'm gonna show you. Can you guys see this?
I think it's yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's the tepestate.
Yeah, so this is the last one that we're trying here, guys. I think images are always, especially with the tepestate agave, you know, you're talking about one of the oldest growing agaves, and also one of the most beautiful ones and one of the bigger ones as well. And I think it puts it all in perspective when you see one of these mighty plants in the wild just doing its thing. Diego, would you care to talk? ¿Puede explicar un poquito más de este tipo de maguey?
No, esa es una yuca.
Pues del tepestate nosotros acá, pues pues nosotros estamos empezando a sembrar lo que es el agave de tepestate, pues antes como le digo, antes acá el mezcal, como nosotros lo llevamos acá, no era un sustento acá para la familia, antes acá no sé, el mezcal no era algún trabajo rentable para acá y hasta en estos de como unos 6 años para acá se empezó a ir implementando más lo que es el mezcal, a empezar a producir más mezcal. Y ahorita nosotros ya empezamos a producir lo que es el tepestate. Antes acá el tepestate, por así decirlo, pues mi abuelo, de lo que yo recuerde, hace unos 6 años, sí lo cortaban, el que estaba en la orilla del terreno, lo sacaban. Pero por decirlo que estaba muy en el monte, pues no le hacían caso, pues no era un trabajo que les iba a dejar algo para la comida de la familia, como para estar en el monte sacándolo una semana, 2 semanas en el campo.
So basically, he's saying that mezcal wasn't basically profitable, like to make enough money to live back then. Like that's why
Solo faltan los agaves.
they would like
Cerca.
use uh
Los acaban los agaves estaban más cerca del
so
terreno
he
plano,
was
pues.
they would just collect whichever agave was the closest from his palenque. Like they didn't produce a lot of tepestate basically. But now they do a single varietal with the Tres Tiempos Mezcal. They have to start planting agaves. So we have agaves for the future, especially because the agave tepestate takes a long time to mature. Uh, Usually goes from 18 to 25 years to grow. So in order to have enough agaves for the future process, we have to start replanting agaves.
Hasta
Beautiful.
hace unos 6 años para acá empezamos lo que es a cultivar pues el tepestate poco a poco ahorita, pero pues es un agave que pues así como nosotros hacemos acá, no necesita de cuidados, pues nada más es sacar la semilla, por ejemplo, de un maguey maduro, que es chiquiote, un maguey que nosotros digamos, no, pues es un maguey grande, un maguey limpio, se saca sus semillas, se obtiene las semillas y se sacan viveros y se empieza a trabajar en el vivero, ya se mete al monte, pero pues en su mismo terreno, ahí entre los árboles, entre las piedras, ahí donde quede, donde le toque sembrarse, ahí se queda sembrado y es un agave que no necesita un cultivo, por así decirlo. Y hasta ahorita en estos tiempos fue cuando se empezó a lo que es el trabajo con ese maguey.
So he's saying that he started like replanting tepestates about 6 years ago because of the agave, like takes time. And now like they are collecting seeds, and they're like starting like uh developing their own like small agaves, and then they go up in the wild and they start replanting. And that agave doesn't need a lot of attention, like they use. So basically, during before the I'm sorry, during the raining season, that's enough water for the agave to survive. Like once, so they usually replant agaves during the raining season, so the agave can live like through the year.
Beautiful. You
Mhm.
guys want to share about what you guys think about this last one here, the tepestate?
I mean, it's been going like the rest. I mean, it's I think the aroma is super potent tepestate aromas like you expect, the sort of green pepper and but I thought the flavor was much more sort of soft and rounded than I was expecting based on the aroma. It's really nice. I mean, it has some tepestates to me have like a raisin kind of almost like a cooked raisin kind of thing, and this has that, which is really nice to go along with some of those green peppery kind of things. And yeah. lovely.
Yeah, I can echo on the green peppers. There has this beautiful green, for me, bell pepper, delicious kind of grassy flavor to it.
But also like a lot of sweetness to
Yeah.
this, like maybe a surprising amount of sweetness for tepestate, whereas sometimes it can end, a little more dry. This one is sort of bursting with sugar in a very unique way.
We almost said we got it towards the end, a little pop up like sugar water that just kind of explodes at the very end for the milliseconds, like a little splat of sugar water.
I feel like I get a little banana leaf on the nose too on this one.
Yeah, I think as I get, when I first started getting into tapastates, I wanted like bold, like take over my palate and like just I want to taste it for like 10, 20, 30 minutes after, right? And I still like that, trust me. But I have now, as I've gotten into that tepestate, wild tepestate rabbit hole, I find more it's harder, and I find more respect and talent with the mezcalero or the mezcalera when they're able to pull those sweeter notes out of the tepestate. It kind of reminds me of one of my other favorite producers for tepestate, Aniceto. In that level, in the same way that they both bring a lot of sweetness out of the tepestate. So it's a really great point that all you guys are bringing up, and I think a key of what separates this tepestate from many others on the market for sure.
And now that you mentioned that, Steven, the tepestates are really hard to like get that sweetness from. Like a lot of the wild tepestates, sometimes they come out with a bitterness. It's so hard like to like manage that, especially because we do a very small portion of it, and we don't know how it's gonna come out. If it's gonna come out like sweet enough or little more bitter. So that's why Diego takes a lot of time to like he takes a lot of time and careless on the cooking process. Because if you like either overcook or your agave it's not cook enough, then you'll get one like consequences like the bitterness and other difficulties with the flavors or aromas.
Yeah, and some people like that bitterness, but I think that I think a lot of the people in here, especially, are looking for something a little bit deeper than that. It's kind of like when someone comes into the store and they're like, can you recommend a smoky mezcal, right? It's kind of like, well, like you should be looking for something a little bit deeper than that, right? So that's really great. Any other lasting comments on the tepestate here, flavors, or did any of you guys go back and revisit any of the other ones, and maybe you had a change of perspective? Or my last question for any of you guys before we sign off here and say our goodbyes, if any of you guys want to share which one your favorite was, I think that'd be pretty cool to hear as well.
This is a strong lineup.
I mean, this Diego he's a great producer. I mean,
Yeah,
For me, it was the
amazing.
tobala. I mean, not just because it's exclusive to you, but the tobala that just had, the most flavor. And that was my favorite.
beautiful. If you guys could type into the chat where you're logging in from, so that Diego can see where everyone is that's drinking his beautiful mezcal. I think that would be pretty cool for him to see as well.
Also, Steven, if you have the map where the San Luis Amatlan is located,
Yes.
like whenever any one of you all like to visit Diego, you are all welcome. You can follow us on Instagram with Mezcal Tres Tiempos. Instead of the E on the tres, it's gonna be with the number 3. You can follow us on Instagram, and whenever you like to visit us in San Luis Amatlan, send us a email or a message, and we'll be more than happy to have you there, and so you can meet Diego and drink
I'm
more of his mezcales.
I'm kind of sad because I was in the village just a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't know about you guys then, so I was not. I did not get to visit, but next time I definitely want to
There
visit.
you go. Yeah, exactly. Next time.
Awesome. Do any lasting points from Diego here?
Diego, ¿quieres decir algo
Pues qué
para
más, pues
despedirte?
no, pues
¿Cómo miras el impacto de la demanda del mezcal en tu pueblo? ¿Qué son las cosas negativas y positivas de San Luis Amatlán con la demanda del mezcal?
pues aquí pues más que nada las cosas pues las cosas positivas, pues decirlo bueno, al menos en los de mi edad, en los de los que son de mi generación, pues que al menos hay personas de mi edad que ahorita no hemos no ha habido la necesidad de los que no estudiamos de irnos para otro lado a trabajar y hemos podido de estar aquí en el pueblo trabajando con las mismas, con nuestros papás, nuestras mismas familias. Y las negativas son que pues hay muchas, por decirlo, empresas más grandes que llegan acá, llegan hasta pues ofrecerle a la gente según mucho trabajo bien y a destruir pues ahora sí que los campos, ¿ve? Los montes aquí, los cerros, como nosotros le llamamos acá. Eso es lo negativo, pues aquí ya han habido muchos empresas que han llegado acá a querer trabajar acá y hacen que pues a destruir, pues a hacer nada más llegan a plantar agave, a plantar agave, a plantar agave nada más y a destruir el campo, pues, y otras que pues hemos estado haciendo como, bueno, al menos yo con mis tíos, con mi familia hemos estado tratando sí se ha sembrado espadín, para decirlo, en los terrenos que, que mis abuelos, mis papás ya han tenido limpios, pero en los demás terrenos que tenemos de monte, ahí nada más lo que se ha preservado es poder, tratar de meter lo que es el bicuiche, el tobalá, tepestate en campo, pues, no tratar de no destruir, es lo negativo, y ya lo que, pues yo creo que lo que es positivo, pues es lo que, pues nos ha ayudado a salir adelante de acá como estamos acá nosotros en el pueblo.
So, Diego is, I asked him what the situation is in San Luis Amatlán with all this high demand of mezcal, like the pros and the cons of the industry, and he's basically saying like the positive side of his generation, like the people of his age. It's a good thing because now they have more opportunities in the mezcal industry, like the people that are making mezcal, like they have like more jobs basically, like they don't have to emigrate to other like to either here in California or other into the US, or like leave their village to go to Mexico City or stuff like that, like so now they have more opportunities to stay. But the negativity of the mezcal industry is that he says that a lot of big brands are getting into his region, San Luis Amatlan, and like they are offering people to like cultivate a lot of agave, like to start like mass produce, basically like the same that they do in other communities. And that's the only thing he basically he's not agree with, because like the the mezcal takes a lot of work, a lot of effort to make, and sometimes they don't want to pay what the mezcal worth, like they don't pay well, basically.
Gotcha. Well, at least, the good thing is that I think the most important is everyone here continuing to support small batch spirits, right? And supporting the producers that they want to support. And I think that's a really big part of why we do these virtual tastings. Is that, a lot of this stuff, it's hard to try it to see if you're going to even like it when it's $130, $150, $180. But when you do try it and you find that mezcal or that expression that really speaks to you, or that hand of maker that I always talk about, right? The producer and everything. Like, I think every single one of you guys tonight could taste Diego's hand across all four of those expressions, right? And so I think that is really the big part about what Tohono Mercado is, about what Tr3s Tiempos is, Leo, about what you guys do with Nolasco importing, is giving the platform, giving the floor, and showcasing these amazing, amazing producers like Diego, and give them that floor so that they can talk about it, and then we can continue to support, push the conversation forward, and make sure that these areas of Oaxaca and other small parts of Mexico don't get turned into monoculture, don't get turned into just mass producing espadín, to create cocktail espadín or cocktail mezcal, you know, for restaurants and bars all around the United States, because that's not the route for mezcal to take, and that's why we keep pushing so hard. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys that joined here tonight, for taking the time out of your day. I know life is very busy. I'm telling, life is nuts as far as time is concerned. So I really, really, and I know Diego and the guys from Tr3s Tiempos really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, to come here, talk mezcal, share your thoughts, your flavors, your beliefs, and hopefully we can keep doing this again, hopefully soon. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Leo, Raul, any lasting points? And then Diego.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Steven, for let us use your platform to talk about Mezcal Tres Tiempos, our project, and we really appreciate all the support that you have done for the brand and for the family in San Luis Amatlan. And yeah, that's all for my part. And thank you all for being here with us today, doing this tasting. Like Steven said, hopefully we have a special batch, exclusive batch in the future so that we can share with you all. So like, let's stay in contact. Oh, you know, like you can follow us on Instagram, like I said. And whenever you want to visit Oaxaca, please let us know so you can come see us over there.
Diego, gracias por todo. Hace mucho, mucho bueno mezcal. Me encanta, me encanta.
No, pues muchas gracias igual a ustedes por pues que les haya agradado nuestra producción acá de familia, más que nada, porque es una producción pequeña de nomás, pues nuestra pura familia, entre tíos, mis papás, mis primos, nada más. Y muchas gracias pues, por probarlo, por gustarles.
He's basically saying thanks for all the support you all have done for his family, and we are excited to send more mezcal to you guys.
Nice.
Awesome, guys. So thank you. Have a good night. And
Good night, Steven.
we'll
Gracias.
see y'all
Gracias a
soon.
todos. Good night.
Thank you guys so
you.
much.
Bye, Max.
Gracias.
Adios.
Thank you, guys. Oh, and one last thing before you guys all head off. We are doing a chef's table dinner with Tr3s Tiempos, June 24th. We're going to do two services, one at 6:30 and then one at 8 o'clock. The one at 6:30 is going to be a cheaper price point with bar bites and a mezcal tasting. The chef's table dinner will be a 4-course dinner, and both services will be Oaxacan inspired as far as the dinner. So we'll have a layuda on the menu, which will be pretty awesome, with the guys from Dos Raíces. So if for you guys that are local, we'd love to host you. For you guys that aren't local, let's get a reason for you to come to San Francisco. Good night, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, guys.
Gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Adios.